I'd been camping since I was a kid, so strange noises in the woods never bothered me. Owls, coyotes, branches snapping. I knew what normal sounded like. This wasn't normal. I was camping alone in northern Michigan at a small first-come campground. It was late October, and by the time darkness fell, I realized I was the only person left in the area. Around 1:30 in the morning, I woke up to someone whistling. It wasn't a tune, just 3 short whistles. Then silence. About a minute later, 3 more whistles. I assumed another camper was trying to find someone, but then I remembered I'd watched every other vehicle leave before sunset. I grabbed my flashlight and unzipped the tent just enough to peek outside. Nothing. The campground was completely empty. The whistling stopped for about 5 minutes before starting again. This time it sounded closer. 3 whistles. Silence. 3 whistles. I decided not to investigate. I zipped the tent shut and stayed still. Then I heard footsteps. Slow. Crunch. 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 They circled my tent once, then stopped directly behind my head. I held my breath. No movement. No breathing. Nothing. After what felt like 10 minutes, the footsteps slowly walked away. The next morning, I packed as fast as I could. As I was leaving, I noticed footprints surrounding my tent. They weren't mine. They made one complete circle around it before disappearing into the woods. What bothered me most wasn't the footprints. It was that whoever made them had been standing less than 2 feet from where my head had been all night. 3 of us drove into a national forest for a weekend camping trip. The first day was perfect. Fishing, cooking over the fire. Nothing unusual. That evening we collected firewood and stacked it beside the fire pit before going to sleep. The next morning, every single log was gone. We laughed and assumed another camper stole it. We gathered more wood. That night we placed the pile next to the picnic table. The following morning, the wood was back exactly where we'd originally found it in the forest. Every branch, every log, even the oddly shaped piece we'd joked looked like a dinosaur. It had all been returned. We thought one of us was playing a prank. Nobody admitted to it. That evening, we decided to test it. We carved our initials into several logs before bringing them back. The next morning, those exact logs had been placed neatly back where we'd cut them. Only now, they were stacked upright against a tree, like someone wanted us to know they had moved them. We packed up immediately. As we drove away, my friend looked into the woods and quietly said, "Don't stop the truck." I asked why. He waited until we reached the highway before answering. There was someone standing behind that tree watching us. None of us had noticed. Last summer, my brother and I hiked nearly 6 miles to a remote campsite beside a small lake. There were only 4 designated camping spots. All of them were empty. We chose the one closest to the water. Around midnight, I woke up because everything had gone completely silent. No insects, no frogs, nothing. I looked outside and noticed another tent across the lake. It hadn't been there before. There was no fire, no lantern, just a dark tent sitting among the trees. I figured another group had arrived late. The next morning, it was gone. There wasn't even a clearing where it had been. My brother insisted he'd seen it too. We shrugged it off and spent the day hiking. That night, it happened again. The tent was back, only this time, it was much closer, maybe 100 yards away. Still no light, still no sounds, just a tent. I stayed awake, watching it for nearly an hour. Then I noticed something. The zipper never opened. Nobody came out. Nobody went in. But the tent slowly collapsed. as if someone inside had laid down. Except it never rose again. The next morning, we walked over to where we'd seen it. There was nothing there. No footprint. No flattened grass. No campsite. Just untouched leaves covering the ground. We left before lunch. About 2 hours into the hike back, we met a park ranger. He asked where we'd camped. When we told him the lake's name, he got quiet. Then he asked one question. Did you see another tent? Neither of us answered. He sighed and said, "You're not the first people to tell me that." Then he wished us a safe drive home and walked away. He never explained what he meant.